listening to Inclusive AF with Jackye Clayton and Katee Van Horn.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Inclusive AF podcast. This is Jackye Clayton.
And this is Katee Van Horn.
And we're very, very excited to be here. We're just coming off of HR Tech. Woo! No, Katee,
great time. No, it was, I was just gonna say, it was great time. I'm still in recovery, but then had to get on a plane immediately and come to Dallas. So
amazing.
Whirlwind tour, have that going on right now. But yes, it's good. It's good.
I was excited to actually got my voice back today. We'll hope that it lasts the whole time. But part of the reason is because we got to talk and meet some wonderful people, including Maya Huber. Is that how you say your last name? Yes. Maya Huber. We got to party with Maya too, and we're glad to have Maya on the podcast. So tell everybody, hello, Maya. Oh, we can't hear you.
You just went quiet again.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, now we can hear you.
Okay, I will not breathe. Let's try that. Okay.
It's going to be the world's shortest podcast.
But we will get to the news.
That's right. Well, I would love for you to take the time to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of TaTiO. We are a woman-led company. I'm really proud of that. Yeah. Me and my dear co-founder and colleague Mor, established TaTiO after 15 years practicing and research on the HR space. I hold a PhD. My expertise is the future of work and job analysis. And I'm here to tell you more about TaTiO and to talk about our inclusive tech and overall about my perspective and, again, your feedback about how we can create a more inclusive workforce using competencies-based hiring.
I love that. You know, we're all on that mission.
Absolutely. So, Maya, my first question to you, what does the future of work mean to you?
Oh, God. For me, I want to create a reality where when our kids will grow up, okay, resume was that thing of the past that their parents sent by fax. This weird tool that we use that anymore. That's my future of work.
I love that. I'm ready. I was like, I think she's making fun of us, Katee.
Yes. And here's the thing. I think we all probably were in that environment in HR at some point where we were receiving resumes via fax. And it was that like, oh, Nelly, like there has to be a better way. So that's where we need to go. But tell us a little bit about TaTiO and kind of what you guys are doing.
Okay, so TaTiO connects companies and job seekers based on competencies alone. Okay, so basically, we are sourcing technology that use smart simulation tests to simulate jobs, core tasks of jobs, and to engage candidates through those job simulations to test their competencies before the first interview. So it's like a reverse engineering of the process, the way it works. We get those resumes, we try to sort them either manually or with an ATS, and then we do the first interviews and maybe we do some assessment. And then actually, we will not be sure a person will be good at a job until right after he's hired, right? And we will miss constantly, and we are missing today, those great people that are qualified for the job, that their resumes or credentials, or sometimes the name or picture, considered to be irrelevant for the job. So with our solution and the reality we try to create is that people will be judged based on their competencies alone, no resumes, no application form, just skills and proven performance.
I love that. I think about that. I find it really, really interesting. I think it's funny, especially you were talking about names. There's like this TikTok. Have you seen it? They're like, don't name him Henry. Henry sounds like an old that. Don't name them Rochelle or, and I was like, we've always talked about names, and I've always thought about discrimination or exclusion based on ethnic sounding names. But then I didn't even think there are some names that just sound old, right? Or a little too modern and trendy.
Let's create more problems.
Yes. Yes.
More barriers. Oh,
and
God.
Now people just make them up. Like they're fully made up.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, you still have to work with resumes now. How do you find those competencies? Like, how do you help people? I'm glad that you talk about working through them, but how do you help draw those competencies out? I find that it's so difficult. We're so used to right now building the resumes that they forget about the importance of what's needed to do some of these jobs. So how do you work?
Imagine you as a candidate, okay, you will be able to experience job, the real core task of a job, okay, from your own environment. Tasks that are operating within the context of the position. So let's say sales, okay? With TaTiO simulation, we pull candidates from different channels. We are working on diversity and inclusion. I will tell you a bit more about that because we invest a lot resources on that channels as well. But imagine as a candidate, you see an ad, okay, and you're inside a CRM of a sales company, and you have pipeline of qualified lead that you need to reach and qualify and create interaction with. You have this sales speech you need to follow, and you sell to people through the simulation. So in our simulation, within 20 minutes, you need to close 3 deals. We track everything you do. So we track your performance, we track your with the video and audio analysis, and we create this data. And again, it's all about performance. It's not about your stress or the way you look. We make sure that you're alone and no one does the simulation with you, but that's it. Except that we're tracking your flow, the content you said. Either you use proactive behavior, right? As a salesperson, you need to be proactive. You need to follow instructions, whatever. Okay, so we track all of that, and by the end of the simulation, first you'll get a report with detailed data about how you perform the job. So I will tell Katee that you were a nice salesperson, okay, good proactive behavior, and I will do both, okay? First, I will show you, you will get a list of relevant positions that you can apply. Those positions are a good match between your competencies and the general company requirements. But also I'll tell you, you know what? Your service and orientation was that amazing and great motivation and amazing energy. Will you consider to be a customer success representative? And again, a simulation, a feedback, etc. So from the candidate experience, it's just experiencing job, getting feedback, get a better decision making. From the company side, you experience the job, you find qualified based on your skills, nothing else. You met the requirements of location, salary, the hours, shifts, whatever. All they need to do is to interview. But we want recruiters to spend their time interview you as a relevant qualified lead, and not other people who just, clicking and sending their resume over, changing their names to get the job done.
I love that. We do take-home tests. Those have to be painful. They just have. We've been working on trying to find a different. If I could give them 20 minutes to try, that would be life-changing.
And it's not popping balloons. It's not answering, finding, someone told me at the conference, I can't compare squares anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't do that.
Yes.
It's not relevant.
Right. Good
So
one.
Yeah, and so that's I was actually going to ask, like, from a validation perspective, how are you tracking to make sure that, like, the assessments that you're giving actually do, like, so the company does actually receive qualified candidates? Like, is it that the company is setting up some sort of profile? And if so, like, what does that take? But then also, well, I just asked like 4 questions right there. So I'll stop and then ask more.
So that's a great question. So first, I will go back to the core. Our product created after years of experience in the market. My PhD is in job analysis, and we also backed by, we are working with Professor Joseph Fuller from Harvard Business School. He's the one who's leading the Future of Work project. You probably know him. So first of all, we start with data. Data that come from US labor market, updated, okay, evidence-based. So imagine we have those recipes, okay, to create of what are the 5 main core tasks for a position. And again, it's not about you or Jackye being a great team player or motivated people, or those abstract phrases we see on our job description. Is about the main core task of a job. So one sales, again, I'm going back to sales, but one sales representative can be all about how fast you interact with clients. Okay, how would you fast you track the sales pitch, you follow instruction. The other one will be how in what way you create more deep interactions with your clients. So we grade that. So first of all, it's a general simulation for every job. Okay, but then for each company, we get better over time and we track the hiring results. So I will note for a specific company, they will like specific, a characteristic of a unique persona, and I will bring those over and over again, or connect those over and over again. So for your question, we are back with data. We do ask the company to make sure that what we test are the things they need in their candidates or in their employees. But I can tell you that with 99% of the time, they say, wow, how did you know that? And because we come from the market.
Hey, y'all, I'm Lee Cage Jr., and I'd like to invite you to listen in to my podcast, 15 Minutes with. 15 Minutes with rising stars and seasoned disruptors, thought leaders, and change agents who are sharing how they're reshaping work, rethinking worth, and reimagining what's possible. This is fast-paced, heartfelt, and unfiltered. These aren't just conversations. They're catalysts. So tune in, elevate, share the shift. 15 Minutes with, wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's part of what I have found challenging just in my role as chief people officer and, doing some of the recruiting for that is a lot of times it's a very general, you're getting very general candidates who have very general skills. And to be able to say, this is like, because I'm just thinking, even within sales, and you both know that's like an inside salesperson versus an outside salesperson versus a transactional salesperson versus a business development person that's, developing those are very different profiles of what they actually can do. And so, yeah, I like that it, kind of learns over time what you need and kind of what you're trying to actually find from a candidate perspective. That makes total sense. And then I'm in the middle of something, so that's what's on my mind. I am building out. So Handshake is, what all the colleges and universities are using for recruiting. And even just building out a profile in that, it's because I'm like, it's not, I don't just need this or just need that or just need that. And so like, even just trying to figure out how to set up a profile. So it is these different personas, profiles, whatever you want to call it, for the different departments. It's very time consuming.
Absolutely. And I want to share two things about that. First of all, what we try to do is to start from the top down. So it's not about creating those personality traits, okay, this culture about the company and do the match. We are focusing on the top core tasks that are required. We start with performance, so we will make sure recruiters will have time to test the personal traits, the cultural matching to the company. And it's just a different paradigm from my end for hiring, because commonly we do the other way around. We start with backgrounds and personality and traits and some assumptions we have about the competencies that we learn from the candidate's experience. And I'm saying, we need to be more objective and that in that way more inclusive, because if you look only on objective data, you're open. And just go back a second for a comment. What we do to make sure we do stand with the changes in the market as well is that what our tech enable us to do, we have our own simulation engine like editor that enable us. Let's say we did a sales simulation, and then I can tell you a true story. We're working with Wix, one of our companies, and they said, you know what? Right until now, we were hiring customer success people that provide service on calls, and now we prefer chats. So within a couple of days, we had a feature of chat, and we changed everything altogether. So we are really agile from that perspective as well.
Well, you know what? This is where I get hung up on. And keep in mind,
okay,
I'm always looking for the absolute perfect tool. I need a glass of water, but with the right ice cubes in the right shape, with the right bendy straw, the nice sound, and it doesn't exist. But
you deserve it.
Absolutely, I do, Maya. Have you seen my children's heads? All right. So, but I ask, so when I'm thinking about I need the competencies, but then as one of the competencies, in order to work at TaTiO, so I'm the VP of TA and DEI. So one of the competencies to build an inclusive tool is that you have to be able to work with inclusive teams on top of the competencies. Is there a whole, I need both of those things, regardless of what role you have on the one side, you have to have these competencies or you can't work here. Have you built that tool? Has anyone built that tool? We need to know, because I don't want to hire you, even if you're perfect, if you're a racist, sexist, homophobe. There's just no space there, even if you're perfect. So
I can tell you that.
Can you go work on that?
First of all, I'm always open to new challenges. I can tell you that. Listen, our first early adopters instead of users, not clients, the job seekers, are the ones who want to put their skills up front and understand the value of that. And also the companies. Because we are delivering a new approach to this space, we get, I feel like we get those people who are more open to that. Because as a company, you need to be open, we've been asked for companies over and over again, okay, but send me his resume as well. No, we will not send his resume as well. This is only competencies. And we keep hearing the candidates sharing that this is such a great opportunity for them to be judged, to be respectful. So hopefully we are on the road, but again, sorry, I have everything except the straw.
For you. I'll help you with that straw.
But I'm committed to find a solution. I am.
Perfect. As long as you're willing, because I think that's the part that's what's making me nervous about these new skill tools, right? That's what makes me the most nervous. I mean, it makes me excited from the standpoint was when I was a stay-at-home mom, I was probably really a lot better worker for a million people than I am now, but was looked over. And now that I'm old and tired and I don't want to do all of those things, I'm great at a couple of different things. but I get nervous of who decided these were the competencies. And I feel like with hiring managers, if I ask a hiring manager to make up the job description instead of like modify existing job descriptions and put them in TaTiO, thank God I have that to be able to back it up. They send me weird things and I'm like,
Of course.
you know, and they
No,
even have a jet. And they
Jackye,
need to speak 5 languages.
but that's the thing, Jackye. They do not design the simulation or decide what the competencies will be. We do. The data do. This is not, you know, they did not define it and decide, I want that person. I want only people who, I don't know, operate fast, or they cannot tell anything but competencies, but we choose them. The only thing they can do is grade them or rank candidates based on competencies. But they're not the one designing, not the simulation, and not what the core task will be. We do.
I mean, I'm willing to play with you. I'm just saying, what do you
Really?
I'm giving you the Clayton one eye. I want to
Trust me. That's how, trust me. Just trust me. I want to tell you a story, okay? 2 stories. One, I was working, first of all, once we started as an assessment tool for people with disabilities. That was our first product. Then we realized, it's pretty stupid, yeah, but we realized we cannot ask companies to use a specific tool for a specific population bias. And then we expanded that. But the fact that we started from underprivileged, we designed a product for unprivileged population. We really, you know, we worked with those people. We have a deep understanding how to create an inclusive technology that will remove bias. So we do not share names. It's just initials. Only competencies. We do at the beginning, we do not share location. We do the match-based location, but we share just competencies. This is one story I want to share. And the other, which is my story, when I started the journey with a great mission to create again technology that will create an inclusive company, I thought that there's a big issue in the market with those unprivileged people. But it's their issue that I'm committed to solve. But then I wanted a career change. And again, 15 years in HR, wanted to be a product. You know, no one will look at my resume. I have a PhD. No one will look at my resume. There wasn't relevant. And suddenly reason it's not the unprivileged problem anymore. It's all of us. As you said, as a mom, people on career change, the environment changes rapidly. COVID, everybody is talking about that. But in the future of work, it really doesn't matter what you did. What matters is what you know what to do. And at the end, I have this gig proving that I could be a great product, but the market should be open to that. And moms, and I totally, I feel what you said about this period in your life. We need to be judged differently. And this is just the start. We have a lot to work on, and we need to make sure the right people are also using our product as well.
But it's a start. I mean, my whole point, I always tell people, they say, oh, I'm going to redact a resume. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Men still like men's resumes, whether the name or the picture is there or not. Why? Because they communicate differently. I mean, not to get all philosophical, but men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Absolutely.
There's a whole bunch of genders in between from a whole lot of other planets that don't communicate well. So that's when you start getting, I don't know why, but I just like this resume. And you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, because it's just,
I know why.
Yeah, fully know why. So I like that it takes the resume out of the process. Sorry, Katie, I'm just like very excited. I'm very excited. It's my bio,
I am.
I like this Maya Huber.
No, I think the tool, it just makes sense, because I think, to Jackie's point, there is so much bias in the resume, as we all know, and, redacted or not. And, there were a couple tools that I saw last week that had that ability. And it's great, but it's also that there's language, there's different things that continue to bias folks. Like one of my clients, they actually started taking off where degrees were from as well, and so you have different things, different ways, but it's still the resume and it's still the same language. It is always fun though when you can have a little bit of a gotcha with the hiring manager when they're like, oh, I like this one. You're like, that's funny because it's not who you think it is.
That's right. You're like, oh, tell me more.
You don't know what I just did. Anyways, no, so I think it's great.
But
what's
also,
next?
Katee,
oh, sorry, go.
I just want to say, remember that resume are still belong to privileged people.
That's true.
There are so many people out there that do not like to share their history, or they have those gaps from so many reasons. So those candidates automatically are not relevant, and ATSs do not know how to read them.
True.
Yeah, and I think that is so true, and it is fascinating to me to look at resumes, and there is that gut-wrenching piece of me that's like, oh, I have friends that can help you with your resume. I know people who can help you build because you're looking at these resumes and you're like, no one ever taught you. No one ever sat down and said, this is what it should look like or should it look like. And yeah, I know there's like, people like certain formats, that type of thing. But I mean, just like some of the basics of how you put the information in there to make it, shine for whoever is reviewing them. And I mean, we all know this. We all do this as recruiters.
Yeah.
You look for keywords, you look for certain things, and that competencies is a great example. Like if I can see that, okay, they have this skill, this skill, this skill, I don't care where they got it
That's right.
from. I don't care. I want to know, can they do this job? Do they have that skill
And
to
you
be
don't
able to
even
do
know
it?
if they can. That's the dumb part. We just
Yes.
looked at the 4 key words. I mean, and
Right.
to your point, when I got laid off a number of years ago, I paid $350 for someone to be able to redo my resume.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And you know what? There's another interesting angle of that we try to solve. That when we met Professor Fuller, his research is about this untapped pool of job seekers, and what he means. And it's a really interesting article to read. I really recommend it. It's about you assume that those people are unemployed, right? Or again, underprivileged, or discriminate. But he's talking about 27 million people in the US every year that he's talking about underemployment. And what is just interesting about what he shared is that the fact that people do not get opportunities or are not exposed to opportunities because they do not know how jobs will look like and what their optional career path. And when I read that, I said, it's interesting. But I never met those people until, I walking in the US, I just came back. We met this manager of a candy factory. He told me, and I hear these stories over and over again, that even in warehousing and logistic, sometimes and more often, people do not know what the job requires. Mm-hmm. And he was telling me, this is a candy factory, and people come over and they're surprised that they need to wrap candies into boxes.
Right. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, and I was amazed. I said, really? Is that really happening? And we see it across industries that people do not know. And they act like they know, and you cannot learn anything from job description, right? Like anything. Everyone is selling their dream.
Mm-hmm.
Every job is amazing opportunity. Every teams are unbelievable, right? And how the job will look like. And what we're trying to do is to close this gap and to have people experience a job and get a better understanding of what they're about to do. And when we get those people telling us, I think it's not for me, or I would consider that's amazing. That's the pool of candidates we are looking to integrate into the market, right? We are all struggling for qualified hands. Here they are. Let's reach them, but we need to pull them over in a different approach.
That resonates so much with me right now. we have construction project managers. So, we're building sites for charging stations. And I've now had conversations with multiple people. They're like, wait, if I'm I have to go to the sites? And you're like, yes, you're the project manager. That's, but it's also interesting because we've hired a few folks. We had like a journeyman electrician who would not normally have been considered, but he had the competencies, he's had the skills, and he's a rock star. And so it is like where can you find talent? It goes back to kind of that underrepresented, marginalized groups that have been overlooked because they don't have the right resume, they don't have the right pedigree, school-wise, whatever it might be. But if they can do the job, come do the job. And I think that's what, from a recruiting standpoint, so many of us feel like, no, this person can do this. And it's how do we talk through that with the hiring manager, with the team to say, let's give this person a chance. They have the competencies. And so the tool that you're talking about, like that would help. And that I think would go a long way to say, here it is on paper that they can do this.
Absolutely.
But how do you find the people? Like, what if you're like, I just want somebody who can do this job?
Okay, so
you just want someone to wrap candy?
That's all freaking candy, damn it.
I would like someone to follow me around and unwrap candy for me and just like give me a piece of candy every few minutes.
Double.
And I will go back to the drink with the umbrella.
Yay!
Can we work on that?
I think
Sorry,
let's do it. If anyone, they're like, you haven't been qualified for any of the jobs, but you should call Jackye and Katee. I think they would like you very much.
A candy unwrapper.
Back massager.
You see?
Yes.
I think we're
okay, so we have 3 channels. Okay, one is our own marketing, but we invite candidates to experience job, not necessary to apply. So the process in there, there's not the stressful environment of an assessment. And they can redo the simulation over and over again. Of course, we track that and we test the learning curve, but it's a less stressful environment, and they also get feedback. So for them, the experience is really meaningful. This is one. The second, it's not a mandatory, but most of the companies that work with us provide us an access to the pool of candidates that eventually didn't get hired.
Hey everybody, Tim Sackett, host of HR Famous, a new podcast on the Work to Find Network. Am I famous? No, I'm HR famous. My wife says I'm a micro celebrity and 13 HR ladies around the world want their picture with me, which I think is funny. So, hey, what do we talk about on the pod? We talk about all the dumb stuff we do in HR in any given day, week, month, and we have fun with it, and we have some great guests. Come check us out. We're not famous. We're HR famous.
So from the company side, it's an extra value for, their candidates to check their career path, and we get these candidates as well. And the third, which I love the most, we invest a lot of resources to collaborate with NGOs, continuous education program, training programs, or any organization or company that provides service to unprivileged populations or people in career change. They are not paying. Of course, first of all, job seekers do not pay for the solution, okay? But we also make sure, it's not just that, we make sure that they implement our tool inside, because we believe this is not just about creating inclusive tech. You need to make sure that the end user is using your product.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is also our channel, and unfortunately, not a lot of companies do that. It's not always supported by our board, because people business people do not always appreciate that. But from our end, we are committed to that, and we know it's a long process. But this is for us the real effort to bring those people over.
Thank you for that, because I think that's one of the things that, as recruiters in this space of, focusing on DEI, we talk about kind of the where do you get folks from? Mm-hmm. And again, to be able to tap into talent that has been marginalized, that has been over, no one's even taken them into consideration, and to be able to leverage that talent, which comes with like just such deep and rich experiences, like that's huge. And that, to be able to do that and to be able to tap into that talent is amazing. And, I think the more we can leverage, some of the groups that we just haven't looked at before, haven't thought about before, that's where we find new and cool folks that we would never have had the exposure to.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, thank you.
I can go do it. I can go apply. I can go simulate. I could go to a
Of course,
job.
I will send you a link, but you need to be open to new possibilities, new career path, Jackye.
Don't tell my boss.
Hey, Karen, if you're listening, Jackye is just going to test the tool. She's
I'm just
not
testing.
Yeah, to be very, very clear, she's not going anywhere. It's always worth looking. I completely agree with you. I agree with you.
I will happily share a link. Can I ask you a question?
Always go.
What will you probably hear and saw? You saw a lot of startups, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your one or two great advices that you can tell me for us to succeed?
So from HR Tech Conference or just generally?
Generally.
Okay. One of the things, I'll start with the HR Tech Conference. One of the things that, and I actually mentioned this to Jackye and a few other folks, there were a lot of very specific tools that I was like, are they just doing this to sell to a bigger company? Which, yes, I know some of them are. But there were so many very specific that I was like, how do you create a business from that? Because it was like, who is going to buy it? I'm thinking of just HR budgets.
Who's going to pay?
The $0 that we have to spend on HR technology.
Don't have any extras.
I'm like, who is going to be able to buy each one of these little tools that are all great, but in and of itself, like, how do you do that? So that would be one thing. And then I think the other piece is the more that you can build that pool of candidates, like that's the huge piece, because as a recruiter, as an HR person, the more places I can go that I can find talent that has not been tapped. It's kind of like the whole idea, like so many people, it's like, oh, where do you go to find diverse talent? And they're like, oh, just go to the HBCUs. And you're like, cool. And no, because everyone else has thought of that idea. That's literally like level 101.
That's 10,000. So what about the other millions of Black and brown people?
Yeah.
Millions.
Yeah. And also I think, a lot of times that is not done correctly as well. So like, it is like, hey, you're Black and we want you to come work here. And you're like, well, maybe that's not the right approach, but that's another conversation for another day.
Whole another show.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think there's a piece here where it's the more you can find that untapped talent, every recruiter on the planet is trying to find folks that have not been discovered before. And I like this tool because it is about competencies versus about, did they go to Stanford? Did they go to wherever? Do they have this degree? Because I think that's another thing, like so many software developers now, at least that I'm seeing, they're coming out of boot camps, they're coming out of, non-traditional training, and it's amazing. And they are awesome. So sorry, I'll stop. Go, Jackye. Go for Jackye.
I would just say partner. I mean, there's something that's happening, like, and don't invest, like literally partner. And the reason I say that is because you have your freaking like JobVite, Smart Recruiters, Jazz HR. Y'all are all the same fucking company. I mean, you're like, it's like one of you is like Oreos and one of you are like those like chocolate sandwich cookies, but you're basically the same thing.
We all love you. We love you individually.
Don't at me. Katie's like, are we going to name names? Don't at me, bro. But to really partner so that you can have a product that can go through the full candidate experience, because that's part of the reason where I don't need you, TaTiO, to be all things, but I do need you, TaTiO, to help build an infrastructure so that I can do all the things. So that's what I would suggest is to partner with an adjacent industry. And then also I would say, partner from a company perspective, but partner from a lead perspective, because there seems to be organizations that are holding really tight to their technology. They say they want inclusive spaces. So do my clients, so does Seekout's clients, so does Greenhouse. Let's share so we can create organic, inclusive environments instead of acting like I'll only be inclusive, but I'm not going to talk to you in public.
Yeah.
That's job right. Okay, but there's some others that I will talk to. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. Katie gets so mad because she's like, why do you mention people by name?
No, I know what names you're not mentioning. I know how kind you're actually being right now because I know what names you're not mentioning.
Yes, you do, because there's a full list. But there are.
I will make sure I'm not on that list.
Yeah, do not get on that list.
I would too if I were you. The thing is that there's other things that there are good ideas that end up dying because they can't do it on your own. Like so many companies that have great ideas and great technology, but don't have the relationships or understanding of how the full scope works. And right now they're adding a lot of things to the recruiting arm and to HR. Yeah. And so I think it's important to think about, as you're talking to various clients, what else would you use to see if there's any parallels so that we can all, at least some of us, play nice and have these adjacent things so that we can create inclusive, successful organizations, help them be successful so that more people would want to create. And I will step off the soapbox with that statement.
I love it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, we're rolling up right on time. And so this is the time that we usually share one or two things. I'm speaking to the person in the mirror. One or two things that we want people to take away from our podcast. So Maya, what two things would you want to make sure that people heard if they didn't hear anything else?
Okay. First, I think, there's a lot of solutions out there. Try to automate a broken process. I believe there's a broken process if you still use this one tool that, being in HR tech, all of the solutions rely on words or stories or credentials, all of them. I think it's time for a paradigm change. It's not just about post-COVID, it's about the future of work and the future of our kids and actually our economy. Okay? Because we are in a path where we need to look different in the way we hire and to change the way we, the hiring process is being focused on screening people out instead of screening them in. And this is one. And the other thing, we talk about, I think the industry is talking about skills and about being inclusive. And I think we should really critical about it, because sometimes I feel that companies use, inclusive approaches, but it's not an inclusive process. And I believe that we need to take one step further from talking about skills to talk about competencies and to try the best. And just about us, TaTiO, I believe that I want more companies, working with us to create this new matching standard that will provide opportunity to people to be judged by their skills, and that will stand with the requirements of what the future lies ahead, because there's so many opportunities out there. There's so many amazing, brilliant people, and there's gaps we need to fill. So let's not, if we will do the same thing, we will not get better results. Let's try to do something different. So I wish that people will be more open, and we meet open companies, but if I could ask for something, to meet more open recruiters and talent acquisition managers that are brave to engage, to be, we call it an HR revolution. Okay. We want people to join our revolution and to move forward to test people, to judge people only based on their competencies.
I give snaps to that.
Yeah, I do too. And also, I would like to say, Maya, you're really going with Jackie's methodology of the one thing, because that was like 17 amazing things. So, yeah, well done, my friend. You put it all in.
I told to myself, just try to be under 20.
I like that you said 1, 35 things, and 2, 17 things. It was cool. I liked it. I like your swagger.
For me, I think it is, one of the pieces that you've touched on kind of throughout this entire episode. It's hiring managers, recruiters, anyone really in an organization focusing on competencies. And that's something that we've been talking about for years, is focus on competencies, not where was the degree from, what was the degree, where do they live, all of these other pieces. And to be able to actually do this in such a way that it's done for you automatically, like that's killer. Like, that's amazing. And so the more we can help people, help people to really focus on competencies and skills versus who they are, who they know, that's huge. So that was only one. I did good.
That's good. That's good. Well, if I would say one thing to take away, it would be have a bias to hire instead of trying to exclude people. Like, make them really fight their way out. Because I think we're missing out on, and 2, don't pass up a good candidate because you're looking for the perfect candidate. I will say that as we're looking inclusive. And I won't say another word to prove that I can actually count and I know what 2 actually means. I don't think I've ever done that on this show before.
Maya, just stay silent for a second. She'll ruin it. Just stay silent.
No, stop. It's mean. I want to fill the space.
And one other thing I have to say.
And number 44.
Mean people. No, it's been great. Maya, I really appreciate it. I am excited. I will look for a link. I do want to take an assessment.
I will send it to you.
And we should talk about it. Maybe Katie and I take it and we have a part 2 about what that experience feels like. I think that could be interesting because amazing. It's different and innovative than a lot of the other squares that we have to compare. So
absolutely.
Finally, it's not a square.
Yeah. Maya, thank you for taking the time. We really appreciate it. This is Katie Van Horn.
Much. It was fun.
Yes, that is Katie.
It's always fun. It's always fun. That's what we try to do. That's what we try. Try our hardest.
It was special. I thought it was special.
You are
special. Yeah. It's always fun.
And
because every time we get to talk to new people, you're our favorite every time. That's how it works. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us on the Inclusive AF podcast. My name is Jackye Clayton. And then who are you?
Wait, do you want me to say it again? I'm still Katie Van Horn.
Still Katie Van Horn.
Bye.
Bye.